Air Crash is a fairly simple level on the surface, but it has a lot of small details that make it surprisingly complex to run through as quickly as possible. Interestingly, the climbing section at the start turned out to be the hardest part of the level to play optimally. It took me a really long time to get even somewhat consistent at it. During the jetboard sections you generally want to boost as quickly as possible. But after jumping over the barrier, we actually want to wait until we are side by side with the next one. This lets us boost more cleanly around the last two barriers and avoid getting stuck on them. The cycle manipulation at the start is for the mines, since zombie glitch doesn't make Crash immune to them. By waiting just the right amount of time at the start, we are barely able to complete the level without hitting any mines. Waiting any longer would cause some of them to be in our way. The level ends with a pole hop that's pretty difficult to land. The end tunnel in Warp 2 also has icy ground, which changes the way we want to get through it. The strategy for these icy sections varies between levels because the hop slide spacing is always different, which makes these sections interesting. The time I ended up getting was better than what I was originally aiming for, and it's only a tenth of a second of my best segments. Now let's go back to the first climbing section to learn why it's so hard. We want to grab the clock as late as possible and land on the next platform as early as possible. If Crash falls too much during the slide, the next jump becomes impossible. It's also important to extend the slide enough to make it to the platform. When we land, we need to jump immediately, and that jump needs to be as low as possible. This means you have to tap jump really quickly. Why do we want a low jump? Because it lets us slide as early as possible to start a hop slide. If we delay the inputs at all, we will hit the highest platform and lose multiple frames. The inputs for the hop slide also have to be as quick as possible, which often results in getting height. If we do everything correctly, we are barely able to reach the plant before the spin animation ends. And even if it looks like everything was done perfectly, sometimes the spin can still run out before hitting the plant. Let's also take a look at the jetboard section I mentioned earlier. As you can clearly see, boosting immediately causes us to lose a lot of time. We also have to make sure to hold forward early enough to avoid hitting the mine, since our invincibility barely wears off. Lastly, let's take a look at the level end tunnel, where the movement is pretty interesting. Because of how the hop slide spacing works here, it's not possible to start a new hop slide off the doorway. We also can't just slide onto the ice because it's just barely too far from us. So instead we have to double slide then go neutral on the analog stick. Going neutral causes us to slide slightly faster for a brief moment. We also need to release the right trigger before double sliding. If you are holding it, the double slide won't work. When we reach a gem platform, we want to start holding forward and right trigger again and slide jump. Holding the trigger increases airspeed. Then we do another neutral slide on the ice. When we reach the end of the icy section, which is about here, we start holding forward again and do one last slide jump onto the final platform. We have to be really careful not to jump too early or we might hit the roof. That ended up being quite a lot of explanation for such a simple looking level. Thanks for watching.